Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, you are welcomed in this second session. Earlier in the first session, we have learned about the teacher evaluation in Pakistan in the context of national professional standards for teachers. Here in this session, I would like to describe in detail the teacher evaluation system in Pakistan, followed by the role of Directorate of Staff Development in teacher education and evaluation. As per my previous advice, I would like to say you again that you should have paper and pen with you to note the key points to learn about the presentation. It will also help you if you do have any of the questions or queries. Stop listening, write that question or query, and then go for again listening. In the end, you may revisit your questions, your queries. Some of them might have been addressed in the next slides. If still they stand, you may post them on the Google Classroom, or you may ask me in the Google meeting. I would feel pleasure to answer your questions. Here in this session, as earlier I said that I have described the teacher education evaluation in Pakistan. To reach that point, it's very necessary to share with you some of the introduction of education in Pakistan. Education in Pakistan is essentially a provincial entity, and provinces are independent of making provincial level policies and to implement them accordingly. Uh, it is the result of 18th Amendment in our Constitution, that is now the part and parcel of Constitution of Pakistan, 1973. Earlier to this amendment, education was the federal chapter, federal subject. There was a Ministry of Federal Education, followed by the provincial ministries of education as well. But in the result of this 18th Amendment, Ministry of Education, that is federal, have been dissolved. Its major responsibility only at the moment is to deal with the Federal Board of Intermediate and Secondary Education, Higher Education Commission, and the embassy schools across the world. Otherwise, within country, they have no more capacity and eligibility. They don't qualify that to deal with, because education is now provincial chapter, and the responsibility of the provinces to make the policies and implement accordingly. Federal Ministry of Education only is for signing the MOUs as the national fame, national face with the international agencies. To ensure national harmony, to maintain identical education quality standards and indicators, and to preserve the national language and ideological foundations, the Federal Ministry of Education is responsible for making country-wide policies. So, in this context, it is effective, but major portions have been dropped from its agenda. Provinces adopt those policies depending on their contextual needs and situation. So, according to their need, according to the situation, they can opt according to the context, the Federal Ministry of Education. Otherwise, they are not bound to respond them, to report them. In the provinces, they are independent. They are supported by the Treasury of province. Not any funding is supported from the Ministry of Federal Ministry of Education. Accordingly, I would like to share with you some of the educational policies, starting from different point of view. The different national education policies have been focusing the following components. Number one, teacher administration issues and mechanism for teacher assessment, increasing number of teachers, recruiting teachers, improving the quality of teachers through better pre-service and in-service trainings, providing teachers professional development opportunities, and upgrading teachers' qualifications. A pinning point in this regard is the low quality of teacher performance. This issue was highlighted for the first time in the report of National Commission on Education 1959, that is also known as Sharif Commission. Since then, teacher quality issues have been constantly addressed by the descendant policies until recently. In this regard, UNESCO reported that the teacher education programs currently being run by the government institutions are not of the caliber to significantly raise the level of knowledge and skills of teachers to have any measurable impact in the students' learning. The curriculum of these programs fails to develop in teachers the required pedagogical skills, subject knowledge, classroom delivery, and questioning skills that would make these courses programs worthwhile. So, on the basis of this report of United Nations Education Science Cooperation, it was very necessary for the governments to take into consideration of this report and have to take some certain decisions. Resultantly, annual confidential report for the employees or the teachers was converted into performance evaluation report denoted by PER. There is only one teacher evaluation report known as performance evaluation report that is being used in the federal as well as provincial public schools. This performance evaluation report is an official employee evaluation report currently being used in public schools in Pakistan. It is filled by the individual teachers himself once a year before December and is signed by the immediate head of the institution and afterwards countersigned by district education officer. In this report, if I present a case of secondary school teacher with you, here in this report, there are 8 parts. The first part is about the demographics of teacher. Second is about his or her personal qualities. Third part deals with the attitudes. And fourth part is about the efficiency in job. Fifth is students assessment. Sixth is overall grading and fitness for promotion. And in seventh part, remarks of the countersigning officer. In eighth part, adverse remarks by the immediate supervisor. Part 1 is filled by the employee. Part 2 to 4 and 8th is filled by the school administrator. And part 7 is countersigned by the district education officer. So going through all these formalities, this report becomes the part of portfolio and record of the teacher and kept for further necessary consideration. It is also necessary for the officers signing and countersigning to share with the teacher the marks of countersigning authority and the immediate officer towards his overall fitness for promotion, his proficiency, his personal qualities, his attitudes. And if there are some adverse marks, the individual has the right to appeal with the higher officials. And higher officials can uh, write to the officers to review the report. If they wanted, they can review. Otherwise, it will be intact. On the basis of this PER, whenever the promotion time comes for the teachers, he or she have to present the previous 5 years performance education reports to be promoted. If all these are satisfactory, otherwise his or her case of promotion is deferred to be considered in any of the next departmental promotion committee if the deficiencies have been removed and the report is satisfactory. The important portion of PER is related to the part second to 6, which is filled by the school administrator. Part 2 and 3 are related to the personal qualities of teacher, such as teacher's intelligence, willpower, emotional stability, appearance, personality, knowledge of Islam, attitude towards ideology, and relations with superior colleagues and subordinates. In 4 part, it is related to the teacher's proficiency about their work on various indicators such as power of expression, knowledge of work, analytical ability, supervision and guidance, ability to take decisions, and work output and quality. All such indicators are measured through highest to lowest level of scales such as A1, A, B, C, and D. Many of these variables are hard to measure without collecting any kind of data, such as teacher intelligence and knowledge of Islam and Islamic values. Part 5 of the performance evaluation report is related to measuring teacher effectiveness through pass percentage of the students in one class. That is about the result of the teacher generated after the activities and efforts throughout the year. If the pass percentage of students in one class is certain in certain subjects is higher than the one board overall pass percentage in the subject, the teacher who taught that subject is deemed as effective or useful, and the vice versa. One board overall pass percentage mean if we consider the board of intermediate and secondary education, the pass percentage in a certain subjects. Let's consider the mathematics. So if the pass percentage is 33% of the for mathematics in the board of intermediate and secondary education, then if all of in all of the subjects taught by the teacher throughout the year, the pass percentage is more than that 33%, then the teacher is considered as effective and useful. If it is below or less, he or she is deemed as ineffective and useless teacher. Then the remarks on his or her report are not satisfactory, and he is advised to work hard more, and might be some sort of counseling be given to him through his seniors, how to deal with the classes, how to perform much effectively and make the useful teacher with further students. Uh, Moreover, in the teacher education evaluation system in Pakistan, there is the consideration of national professional standards for teachers in Pakistan. You know, in the previous session, we have discussed all these in detail. I just would like to uh, revise or repeat only the list of national professional standards for teachers, which are 1 to 10. The first was about subject matter knowledge. Second, human growth and development. Third, knowledge of Islamic ethical values, social life skills. Four, instructional planning and strategies. Five, assessment. Six, learning environment. Seven, effective communication and proficient use of information communication technologies. Eight, collaboration and partnerships. Nine, continuous professional development and code of conduct. 10, teaching of English as second foreign language, as second language or as foreign language. At the moment, all these standards have been incorporated in the performance evaluation report. Not apparently, but hiddenly, they have to do some. Uh, there, some of the parts have been incorporated therein, on the basis of which the teacher's performance is measured. So, in terms of educational history and its education policies and the role of federal Ministry of Education and the provincial we have discussed in detail. Furthermore, we have learned about the first time in 1959 any sort of commission, that is the Sharif Commission, was made to highlight the uh, shortcomings of quality of education and quality system in of the education. So that highlighted different shortcomings of quality in education, and accordingly, a report of UNESCO also shared about that there are much in-depth weaknesses in the system of education in Pakistan that made the roadmap for coming years. And on the basis of these reports of the Commission as well as of the UNESCO, the future planning was made by the stakeholders of education in Pakistan. So this session is ended, and it's over to you now. Listen and learn about this session, what we have discussed, and I will be waiting for your questions and queries. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.